Hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. Today is Saturday, or like we like to call it Caturday. The moon's going to be in Capricorn all day long, so we have some astrology for you, right? So, the moon in Capricorn is void, of course. It's not all day long. I just said that, and I didn't mean that. Void, of course, at 7:33 in the morning, and it's going to enter Aquarius at 11:13. Also in the morning. Gonna cut that. No, I'm not going to. Okay, so anyway, let's just keep it going. Forward-thinking, freedom-loving Aquarius is here to bolster the preceding Capricorn energy that we may have felt the last couple days. Make it a bit smarter, a bit slicker, and definitely groovier, okay? Groovier. Now, how in the world are we going to do that? Well, by making it inherently ours. Remember that eccentricity I told you about? Yeah. The moon is trine Uranus just as she goes void of course. And the mission's quite clear. Make it yours and make it rain. Because Uranus is in Taurus. It gets even better if you communicate a little like a song. Yeah, sounds wild because it is. By being you, we begin to move towards the new moon in Pisces. There's no way to bypass this point. This is not about endings and has everything to do with the transmission of outside knowledge through our innermost voices. Now, talk about Celtic crosses indeed, right? 3 days until St. Patrick's Day, and today's keyword is continuity. So, the color is white in the glow of black light. That's right. That bright white, but it's purple light. Okay, so not so fast there, folks. Pisces season is still very much here. The sun has peeled away from retrograde Mercury, and retrograde Mercury has actually moved beyond the sun as well. And look, the initial Sun conjunct Jupiter had us thinking about our relationship to family, home, and our sense of security. And also our emotional well-being. Now, Mars enters the picture. Oh, now Mars enters the picture. Mercury is closing in on a conjunction with Mars, and Mars is in applying. That means it's moving towards a trine with Jupiter. Now, thoughts are no longer going to do us any good. Those feelings, those thoughts, those everything else, right? This is where we need to produce results because Mars is about action. So now it's time to take action on the things that make us feel better and make us feel more secure. So get creative with your approaches, and if they don't work the first time, you're going to have to try it again because Mercury retrograde is going to do exactly that. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So, there's something I wanted to talk about back there. Mostly the Pisces season thing, because this is very much where we're going to have to be ending this stuff and finding out how we're going to end it. Today, I'm going to keep this pretty short, only because there's a lot of material to cover that we've got coming up with the new moon that's going to be happening in Pisces. And you've been asking some great questions in chat, and I've been spending a lot of time in chat answering them. I will probably either go live. That's a possibility, okay? It might be a possibility for tomorrow. I think probably around maybe 7 o'clock my time here on the East Coast, right? But I may go live with some of that stuff, so if you're interested and you want to ask some questions or something like that, please go ahead and do that, because we're going to try to do something like that. And then also come out with the new moon in Pisces forecast as well as the Aries forecast, preferably, hopefully, sometime this weekend, okay? Now, let's think about one more thing here, okay? We got to do this because, we've got to make sure that we are just, that when that moon shifts into Aquarius right around noontime, it's sextile in Neptune and Saturn, and it's also conjunct Pluto later on in the day. Now, Saturn in Aries makes us feel fresh, okay? Oh, yeah, it does, because it's one of the co-rulers of Aquarius, right? So this is giving a kind of a fresh perspective to the planets that are happening to be in Aquarius, the Moon and Mars right now. And remember, Mars and Saturn, they kind of get along, right? They're both the bad guys of the zodiac. So think about this. What do we have going on? Well, look, It's been a month since we experienced the solar eclipse, and now this is the first lunar return since that event. So what do you got to do? You got to give up the bad habits. We got to be uniquely us. We have to get a little bit more aloof and be able to not get so emotionally involved in things, right? You also want to give up the bad habits because you've been told enough times, okay? And get serious about health because that affects your ability to make the most of the next few days, and it's going to affect our ability to actually make it rain. So we want to make sure that we are actually doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing. Now, the moon conjunct Uranus kind of begs a question, right? Or even conjunct Pluto, rather. It's not conjunct Uranus, it's conjunct Pluto. When will the population stand up to the aging global tyrants who are fighting wars to keep from going to prison? It's so frustrating to watch or listen to the news. Stay tuned here, and we will sidestep the banal like crabs and find our way home where we feel the safest. And if you don't feel the safest there, that is going to be the first thing that you're going to have to work towards and start working on it today. A safe home environment. And that's all I have for you. Now, in 1970, Ursula K. Le Guin is the first woman to win the Nebula Award for the best novel with her work, The Left Hand of Darkness. 1970. And our birth is none other than Albert Einstein. Born in 1879 on this date, he died in 1955. He's a German theoretical physicist famous for his theory of relativity. You know that one, right? E equals mc squared. And a host of other things. He won the Nobel Prize in 1921, and he was born in Ulm in the German Empire, in Germany, right? And that's all I have for you. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming by. Keep those comments coming because they're going to give us some fuel. Like I said, live tomorrow night, possibly 7 o'clock. We'll see, okay? I tend to get a little skittish about that. I don't know why. I do these things live, and I do it all the time, but for some reason, it just bothers me for some reason. I'm not sure. Anyway, and I've done it a couple times, and it's actually been very pleasant doing it, but it's just, it's something that I just don't really feel like I'm on top of the ball enough, you know what I mean, for that. But we'll see. We'll see what we do. All right? And I would just want to make sure that it's interesting, and it's just not me sitting here babbling and going on and on. There are some things that are in the works that we're going to have to get going on, to start working on, and that's going to actually be able to happen very, very soon. So let's recap, shall we? Today's keyword is continuity, because we're looking for continuity between the days, looking for continuity between the seasons, the months, everything like that. We're almost at the end of this astrological year. That is an ending. But we begin the new one right away, and that is continuity. And our color is white in the glow of black light. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is a 6. Happy astrocatting.